Willem Els now, Institute for Security Studies. He's a senior researcher there and have been watching this closely. Willem, good to have you. Thank you very much for your time. SADC met over the week and they came out saying, well, they support the mission that is going on there. So many member states all coming on and agreeing. I put this question to one gentleman communicating for Zimbabwe to say, what does that support really mean from the states in real terms if, for example, troops are going to continue to be killed without proper support and equipment?
Yeah, thank you for that question, because the burning question is that, you've got 16 member states of SADC, and when they were asked to deploy, only South Africa, Tanzania, and Malawi stick up their hands. And they send troops and equipment there. So it seems that even though there's a lot of vocal support behind the scenes and in the open by the SADC countries, at the end of the day, it came down to South Africa, who is supposed to be the powerhouse in the region, to take the lead there, even when they could not really oppose that.
So are the other states merely paying their lip service in terms of this support, or are they really putting their money where their mouth is and resources? I mean, we're talking food, we're talking armor, we're talking other resources that these troops need.
No, as far as we could gather, that it's only the 3 countries that actually send in troops. They also send in the logistical support for these people. And it came out in the meantime that this logistical support is really lacking our troops, and we are really putting them out to dry there in DRC.
Are we central in this conflict for us to continue our presence there?
On the one hand, there's a lot of pressure on South Africa, as I mentioned, the powerhouse in SADC. We are the leading economy. We're supposed to be the leading military force in the region. But it seems that due to a number of reasons, we are not what we are supposed to be. Our military do not have the resources, the manpower, the expertise, and the skills in many ways to even be deployed there. We saw that when we deployed to northern Mozambique, where even before we completely withdrew there was a commitment for our troops to be sent to the DRC, and leaving them there without the necessary resources in order to really fulfill their obligations there.
What is your assessment? I mean, when you look on what's happening on the ground and I suppose your understanding of what that mission is supposed to be, are we there to keep peace or to enforce peace? And is there a fundamental difference in how then we respond to conflict?
Of course, I think that is a very important point. If we see that with all your UN deployments and of course the deployments here under the AU or under SADC, your force mission and your deployment mission, and also the rules of engagement in the UN, it depends on under what resolution or under what chapter you are being deployed. That determines what your reaction or your actions may be as either a peacekeeping force or enforcement force or in intervention force. So what we understand from this one, it's a peacekeeping force, and it's very difficult to keep the peace if there's no peace to be kept. So that left our forces really in the firing line when it comes to these things. When they came under attack from the M23s, we saw that they severely lacked the logistical support. They ran out of ammunition. They did not have any air support. And the troops in the countries that they were supposed to fight with, they ran away, they withdrew, leaving South African troops to fend for themselves in the 2 camps that we have there, but also at the airport.
There's a call now for a joint summit between the East African community and SADC. Rwanda is seemingly backing that, saying it sounds like a good idea, that particular part of the proposal. Will something come out of that?
We hope so, and we really hope that can happen, because what needs to be done here is we need to look at the root causes of why we have the conflict there, what is happening, what the role players are, and also what the instigators are for this conflict. I think if we can start to address the root causes, especially within the DRC itself, we see that poor governance really led to a lot of these challenges. We saw that the broken agreements from the DRC government is being posted as one of the key root causes why the M23s actually went on the offensive. So if we can address that, and they can do it in a regional perspective, because listen, this is not a localized conflict. It involves already many countries, and now it involves countries of both the East Africa and the SADC region. So it is imperative that we get those people around the table, because we're not going to see a military solution here. We will have to have a political solution.
So are you saying there's concerns, I mean, from your end as well, escalating hostilities could spiral into a full-scale regional war?
Of course. And we should also see that against the background. Remember 30 years ago when we rose out of the apartheid era, there was the genocide in Rwanda, and what happened then is, the Tutsis, and that's the majority of your M23s, they are from DRC, but also a large contingent of them are in Rwanda, and they came up against the Hutus, who is predominantly in Burundi. So we see that in recent months and years that it became almost a proxy war that is being fought in the DRC side of the border with the FDLR, who is fighting the Rwandan regime from there, being supported by Burundi, and then also the alleged support of the Tutsis by Rwanda. So in effect, that is a proxy war that actually dates back to the genocide 30 years ago. And the problem that SADC sits with the moment is that the FDLR Burundi factions are supporting the DRC soldiers in their effort, and they're coming up against M23s, who's allegedly being supported by Rwanda. So it can turn out that South Africa might be pointed out as they are fighting against these people who are fighting, who suffered from the genocide. So that's a very sensitive issue that South Africa should take in consideration, because, as I mentioned, you already got those three countries involved, but also you have Uganda to the north that is also got troops in that area. So it's already a regional challenge that we are facing.
What do you make of the role of the Rwandan Defense Force here? There's a letter now rejecting the accusations made, they're saying, by SADC on the 31st of January. They are saying the RDF is there to defend its borders from threats and does not attack civilians.
Yeah, that is their claims, but on the ground, we see a different story. We see that the M23s are one of the most highly trained, highly skilled, but also highly equipped forces in the region. And that could not happen on their own. They need a very strong power to facilitate that, and we see that those skills and the equipment that they are using, that they're deploying, actually surfaced that it's also being used in Rwanda. So it seems that Rwanda is supporting them based on that, and we see also Rwanda as a very effective, battle-hardened military, because they've been fighting in northern Mozambique, the insurgency, for some time. They've been deployed to the Central African Republic. So they are battle-hardened, they are very well equipped, and they're very well disciplined.
Willem Els, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us. From the Institute for Security Studies, there is a senior researcher, has been on the ground and has been, of course, watching those developments carefully.